Coming to you from a studio somewhere out there. It's Enough Already Radio with Fingers Malloy and Tracy L. Connors.
And here we are once again. It's Enough Already. I'm Fingers Malloy. She's Tracy L. Connors. I think we owe the people an explanation, Tracy.
We do,
about
indeed.
What we're doing this week and how we are going to proceed with Enough Already, because we're going to make some changes. Right, Tracy?
Correct. I didn't want to step on you, so carry on.
Okay. So here's the deal. We have heard it from more than one person that they aren't crazy with the new format, even with the bonus content.
Mm-hmm.
As some of you may know who have been listening to this show for quite some time, we're corporate sellouts. So what we did was we had an offer to join an AM station in Ann Arbor, Wham 1600 AM, and we're very happy to be part of the Wham family, but we joined Wham, which then meant we had to clean things up a little bit because we don't have Howard Stern's deep pockets to be paying FCC fines. So there was no swearing, no racy talk, and we had gotten several complaints that we had toned down our act. So what we're going to do moving forward, instead of adding bonus content at the end of the Wham podcast, we're just going to do 2 podcasts a week. One will be like the old format, and then one will be the sanitized format that we have to do for terrestrial radio. Hopefully that will make everyone happy. Tracy, does that make you happy?
We're never going to make everyone happy. But yes, it makes me happy.
So we'll bring back the swears, actually starting this week. How about that? Hot shit.
Fuck yeah.
So this will be what the bonus podcast would sound like. We shouldn't call it a bonus. What are we going to call it, Tracy?
I think we should call it Clean and Dirty, but
Clean and Dirty?
Just me. Yeah, the Clean podcast is the FCC approved Wham version, and the dirty one is Our Old Tricks Are Back.
Okay, we'll roll with that.
I don't know. I think people will be able to figure it out as well.
That's true. But it'll be on the same RSS feed, so if you have subscribed to the show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, the TuneIn app,
Google Play, TuneIn,
you'll be able to hear both. You'll just know that one is clean, and one, I don't want to say that it's going to be filthy. We've never been that way. Just say how we say things the way we want to say it, and we don't worry about our language on the dirty one. So that's how we're going to proceed with Enough Already. Exciting, Tracy. 2 shows.
Madness.
And then, of course, we've been doing the Enough Already Daily Briefly weekdays that we don't include in the RSS feed because we don't want to keep cramming content down your throat that you didn't ask for. So you have to check enoughAlready.us for the Enough Already Daily Briefly. We're averaging about, what, Tracy, 2 minutes and 30 seconds on those puppies?
Sounds about right.
So it's a quick hitter. We pick a story, we talk about it for a couple of minutes, and then we leave you alone. So check that out at enoughAlready.us. Well, Tracy, where do we begin this week?
Yes. Anthony Weiner cried in court. That might be my favorite story of the week.
Yes, and they had, you know how they have an artist in the courtroom who draws a picture? They made Anthony Weiner look like some sort of demon goat in the picture.
Oh, you think so? I thought he actually looked better than he does. I was like, he's not that attractive. Like a terrible superhero.
Is he the male version of Butterface? Because he seems like he keeps himself in shape.
Yes. He does.
But that grape of his... I mean, the hair, it's all wild.
Is that what you're calling his head?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
He's
circus.
Just vile. Just a fucking disgusting human being.
But apparently, chicks dig him.
Well, a 15-year-old.
Well, before that, though, he didn't seem to have a problem getting women. And I said for years that Uma,
Doesn't matter.
She's
You're
a
turning
good-looking
into
dame.
Letterman with Uma Oprah.
She's a good-looking dame.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that photo's probably 20 years old, but of her leaning back in the limo,
I know.
hot damn.
Yeah, well, not enough for Anthony.
Apparently not.
No. Some 15-year-old girl is what's going to take him down. And an unstable one at that.
Are there a lot of stable 15-year-old girls?
I know. I immediately thought I should not have said that because that could apply to just about any 15-year-old girl. But I don't know how many 15-year-old girls go out of their way to contact men that have problems of this sort because she thought it would be entertaining and hoped to write a book about it someday.
As a father of a 13-year-old girl, I know that if he were contacting my daughter, I would want to rip out his trachea.
Yes. Well, her dad was none too happy when she told her parents what's going on. If I remember correctly, because I read the story about her a year ago, I think, when it broke. Or less than, I think it broke in August of last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
But the man has serious self-control issues.
I'll say.
And all that equine sex therapy did not work for him. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Pictures of him riding a horse with a bicycle helmet.
Like, he's not the first man or Democrat or Republican politician who's had issues keeping it in his pants. And I really don't care about it until you start going after 15-year-old girls.
Yeah. Well, and just being so stupid about it.
Yeah.
How many times do you have to get caught? I'm surprised that the Clintons didn't send him away and put him in a room without any electronics or access to the internet the entire time.
Oh, see, I thought you meant send him the way they sent Vince Foster away.
Oh no. I still don't think that they killed Vince Foster. They covered up his suicide. But I don't believe that they killed him.
Killed him.
Nope.
Was it Ron Brown?
No.
The unfortunate accident with the plane? Mm-hmm. It was an accident. No. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He and Vince Foster right now are sitting up in heaven going, son of a bitch, those Clintons.
Yeah.
They got you too? No, I kid. I don't think that Bill and Hillary Clinton are homicidal maniacs.
No, I don't think they've actually ever carried out any of their own dirty work.
Oh, of course not. They've got people for that.
Or, excuse me, wet work, as it's called in the business.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
Oh, you don't watch TV or movies or read books, so.
No. Was that in The Godfather?
No.
What was it in?
No, it's in tons of stuff. That's what it's called when you have assassins. That's the work that they do. Wet work, because of all the blood and stuff.
Oh. I did see Casino, though.
Okay.
And the way that they brutally murder Joe Pesci and his brother in that movie, that sticks with you for a while when you see that scene. You remember that?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
His buddies in the mob meet him in a cornfield, and he's thinking they're going to arrange some sort of business deal. And they had dug a hole, and they started beating them with baseball bats.
Yeah, that's a pretty big tip when you show up to a meeting and there's a 6 foot deep hole dug for
Right.
no apparent reason and the shovels are standing by.
Yeah, and then they buried him alive.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. You don't remember that?
No, I don't. I watched that movie once when it came out.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's probably on TV right now.
Yes.
They like playing that one a lot. I like that. Don Rickles is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Good flick. Sharon Stone when she was still kind of hot. And she's a hot mess in that movie, too.
Yeah.
How do we get on this? Oh, what did you call it? Wet job?
work. Wet work, dude. Ew. No, it's like what you hire contract killers are hired to do wet work.
So if I went up to a contract killer and asked for a wet job, he'd probably beat me in the head with a baseball bat.
Yes, he would say, listen, fag. I don't know what you think I am. Oh, lovely.
What?
Giving all our listeners AIDS. To be precise, Cuban super AIDS.
That's right. Caught it at a foam party in Miami with Marco Rubio.
Oh.
But anyway. So Anthony Weiner, it looks like he's going to go to jail.
Yes. And it looks like Huma finally filed for divorce.
What took her so long?
Who knows? I mean, it's really quite pathetic. And I know you didn't watch the documentary about him.
No, I did not. I hear it's highly entertaining.
It is. It is. It's quite stunning to just see how arrogant and narcissistic he is. And you kind of feel bad for her. And then you remember that she works for the Clintons. So you're like, well, could she really be that good of a person to begin with? Not that anybody deserves this, but she stuck around, so...
She has to have daddy issues or something.
I don't understand it.
She's really good looking, especially for she's politics hot.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying she's like movie star hot, but in the world of politics, especially on the Democrat side, that's a good looking dame.
Yeah.
And she picked that prize pig?
Mm-hmm. I think he was picked for her. Don't you remember Bill performed their ceremony?
That's right. You think it was an arranged marriage.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do that, but they won't murder Vince Foster.
That's a way different thing, Fingers.
I don't know.
You're talking about
Arranged marriages.
arranged marriages and arranged murders.
Maybe it was an honor killing.
There you go. Unbelievable.
Breaking news. Vince Foster was an honor killing.
Oh, man. I love this. So he's not getting sentenced until September 8th. How insane is that?
If I had been caught sexting a 15-year-old girl, do you think my case would be handled in the same way as Anthony Weiner's?
No, not for a second.
Why are people still treating him differently?
I'm not really sure. I guess he has really good attorneys, but I don't know where the money's coming from. Well, Huma did have those 3 jobs at the same time, so.
Do you think in a righteous world where people would be blaming him instead of the Russians for one of the reasons why Hillary lost, that he would be treated differently? But because people just think the reason why Hillary lost on the Dem side is because of Russia, that they're still handling him with kid gloves.
Could be. I think they're trying to play nice with him, too, because who knows what he knows. Not that he has much in the way of credibility, but he could be sitting on a whole bunch of hard evidence.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended.
Well, all I know is I wouldn't be surprised if he has an unfortunate accident in jail. Just saying.
Oh, man, but we won't know until September 8th. But he's out, he's going to sit around all summer doing God knows what.
I wonder if he gets a pension.
Probably.
I mean, a congressional pension, I wouldn't think you would be able to just live off of that in New York City. But
Huma had 3 jobs.
That's true. Oh, do you think... Oh, wouldn't it be something if she had to pay him alimony?
I don't know. Do you really think he's going to sue her for alimony?
Well, let's see how ugly this gets.
Oh, he'll probably get a book deal.
Ugh.
And he has plenty of time to write in prison, so...
He gets 6 weeks, tops.
You think?
Oh, look. It's in New York. They aren't even going to sentence him for another 4 months.
That's kind of how it works, though, which is just mind-boggling.
Why does it take that long to sentence him?
You think it should be instantaneous. Like,
Yes.
oh, okay, here you go. You're going to jail. I mean, the same thing happened with Shaka Fatah here in Philadelphia. I think he was found guilty in maybe October or November and then wasn't sentenced until the following spring.
He should be... I haven't read the story. Is Weiner in jail right now, or is he on bail?
I just said he was released on $150,000 bail pending his sentencing, which is set for September 18th. This is from a New York CBS local.
Focused on sentencing September 18th.
Yeah, but he could face a fine and anywhere from no time in prison to up to 10 years.
I'm telling you, there's no way he sees the inside of a jail cell.
I don't know. They said the following paragraph is Weiner agreed to not appeal any sentence between 21 and 27 months in prison. So he's kind of given into the fact that he's going to jail. And he's asking for about 2 years.
We'll see.
Yeah.
One thing I don't think he'll be able to avoid is being on the sex offender registry.
Well, they haven't decided that either.
Ugh.
But it is funny. I was thinking about that the other day. He has to go knock on his neighbor's door. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
You have to go inform your neighbors every time you move. Knock, knock. Hi, my name is Anthony Weiner, and I'm a registered sex offender. I live down the hall.
I don't think you have to do that.
Okay.
I have gotten on the Indiana sex offender website, and I was shocked at the amount of people that live in a 5-mile radius of my home that are registered as a sex offender, and nobody's knocked on my door.
Right. I don't know how wide the radius is, Fingers. If there was somebody down the street from you,
there are 2 people in my neighborhood. One lives about 15 houses down.
Well, you should go knock on their door.
Oh, believe me.
Say, hey.
I say, kids, stay away from that house. I do feel sorry for the saps that are on that list that they were a teenager and they had sex with a teenager, but, you know, one of those things where they're both in high school, but not someone who's 51 years old sexting a 15-year-old girl.
Right.
That's horse crap.
Yeah.
Horse shit.
There you go. You can say it.
Yeah, I forgot. I always thought it was creepy, though, when you would see kids in high school. Like, I was friends with someone who was 16 that was dating someone in college.
Yeah, it's a little bit creepy.
It's like, what does a 20-year-old have in common with a 16-year-old? I mean, I'm all for it, you know, if I'm 16 and the woman's 20. That's cool. What a world.
Yep.
So there's that. And poor Huma. Now Huma's on the market. You fellas out there. And ladies. She's a catch. She's got to have a decent 401k, having 3 jobs.
Probably, but she's unemployed now, I think.
Is she? She's not working for...
Oh, maybe she's... Yeah, maybe she's a part of Onward Together.
We need to talk about that. We talked about that on one of our Enough Already Daily Brieflies.
Yes. Hillary's new grift operation.
Right. So I get all these 501 groups confused because I'm not starting one and I don't care. So this is a 501c4. 4?
Yes.
Do you know the difference between a 501c4 and a 501c3?
I do.
What's the difference?
Well, one of them is that donations to 501c4s are not tax deductible.
Okay.
And 501c4s are allowed to participate more heavily in politics. In theory, a 501c3 is not supposed to be political. It's supposed to be educational. Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And 501c4 donors can be kept anonymous, I believe. So some on the left are even charging her with starting a dark money group, which is just awesome. Oh, it's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, this is just another way for them to get money funneled to them. End of story. I don't know why they need their own apparatus to do this. There's plenty of others that they have involvement with. And no, it doesn't look like they've done anything with the site aside from making it an email collection depot and a donation portal.
Listen, if I could give a little bit of advice to our liberal friends, I can't think of a wiser investment than funneling money to Hillary Clinton for some sort of national cause.
Yes.
That's not a waste. You've thrown money at her like this in the past, and it's worked out well for you. Keep sending her money.
Their mission statement is incredibly long. Normally, you want like a sentence or two, and theirs is 4 paragraphs.
Is it that she's chilling in Cedar Rapids?
No. No.
Do you think she'll ever set foot in Cedar Rapids, Iowa again?
Absolutely not. No.
You think she bathed in Perel after being in Iowa?
Yes. I think she complained throughout the entire campaign about having to circulate with the riffraff and the hoi polloi. Like that whole stunt with the Scooby van.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to Chipotle and order food like normal people do.
There's no way that a woman who really is half a Chipotle burrito away from a seizure is eating at Chipotle.
Mm-mm. Well, she
like
might.
Her. No way.
You don't think so?
Hillary Clinton?
You don't
no
remember?
Way.
You don't remember Bill running to McDonald's when he was president? You don't think they eat trashy garbage food? I mean, Bill doesn't anymore. He's a vegan. We all know this.
No, of course. I picture Hillary Clinton like Krusty the Clown.
Uh-huh.
During a Krusty the Clown commercial for a Krusty Burger, taking a bite and saying, and as soon as the camera's off, going, bleh.
Oh, no.
That's Hillary with Chipotle.
No. I picture her being a binge eater that gets in, a fifth of gin in, and it's get me 2 large pizzas and a gallon of ice cream.
Oh, I could see that. I don't see her. Look, hell, maybe you're right.
Yeah, I think she eats her feelings.
She's a down-to-earth gal from the streets of Illinois, Arkansas, New York City.
Yes. She's one of those people like Obama that has multiple home states, hometowns.
Well, okay. We just had a Chipotle open up by my house.
How exciting.
I'm scared to walk in, to be honest with you.
Yeah, don't.
I had it once.
Mm-hmm. And you learned a lesson?
Really, I should have just taken the Chipotle from the counter and walked directly to the toilet and flushed it down the toilet.
Yep.
Eliminated the middleman altogether.
Yeah, it's pretty vile.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody stomachs it, to be quite honest. And literally. It's a painful experience.
It is.
And it's not even that good.
The only thing good there, in my humble opinion, I like their chips. Their chips are good.
Okay.
Like, I would go in and get, if I were going to have a Super Bowl party, I would go get Chipotle chips for some other salsa, because their salsa's vile too. Tastes like tomatoes and BO. If you're into that, head to your local Chipotle. Oh, you know what? It tastes kind of like someone smashed this tomato underneath their armpit.
It's an interesting combination.
But the chips are good. I don't think that's reason enough to go to a restaurant. Tortilla chips.
No, definitely not.
But you eat healthy.
Oh, Yes.
You survive on broccoli and yeast.
I haven't eaten broccoli in months. You don't listen to me at all.
I remember going to the grocery store with you once, and it's seared in my memory. You picking out fresh broccoli, which
Yes.
I don't even know how you pick out fresh broccoli.
You just look at it.
How do you know it's fresh?
You can see by the color. If there's browns in there, not fresh. It's not a difficult thing. Look for wilting and brown.
Okay, so what's the new
Yellow.
veggie? If it's not
Spinach.
eggplant, oh, you've switched to spinach now.
Yes.
So when you buy your lean cuisine meals, you put spinach in them?
Haven't eaten lean cuisine meals in 3 years either.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. This is how little you pay attention when I talk.
I listen to everything.
Uh-huh.
My memory just isn't what it used to be.
Certainly. Well, there's nothing that bores me more than listening to what people eat. So I would imagine we're boring the shit out of everybody at this point.
I'm told that my diet is highly entertaining to people.
Well, it's just frightening.
Lately, I've been at work. They have added Mrs. Freshly's cinnamon rolls
Okay.
to the vending machine, and they're fantastic. You get a Mrs. Freshly's cinnamon roll with a blue Mountain Dew. I don't know the name of it, but it looks like the fluid that you clean combs in at a barber shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Windshield washer fluid?
Yeah. Chase it with some Pringles. It's good stuff.
So disgusting. I can't believe your heart hasn't exploded.
I did take my blood pressure today, and I was a little concerned.
Oh, wow. Is that going to have you cleaning up your act then?
I'm not.
Or you'll just
talking
think about it.
I'm not talking about cleaning up my act because I have said on multiple occasions that I'm cleaning up my act to where I don't want it to be rubbed in my face again when I fall off the wagon.
Okay.
But it was 140 over 90.
Is that bad?
Well, I'm usually a 120 over 80 kind of cat, and that's supposed to be good. 140 over 90, that I'm sure it's okay, but it scares me a little because up until the age of 44, I've been 120 over 80, 120 over 80. But now that I've gained 30 pounds, 140 over 90 scares the hell out of me. And this is probably boring people to tears.
Yeah, I'm bored.
You say that now, but if you had a Mrs. Freshly cinnamon roll in front of you,
No,
a whole different
that sounds
story.
vile. Wouldn't eat it.
Well, here's the thing that's bad about talking about my diet.
Mm-hmm.
Is when something happens and someone gets sick because they ate crappy food and the story goes national, everyone has to share the story with me. Apparently there was a woman in California who got some gas station nachos
Uh-huh.
and it damn near killed her. Some sort of botulism.
What a surprise.
Botulism.
You mean gas station food isn't the cleanest?
All right. So this story breaks 2 days ago.
Uh-huh.
At least 5 different people put it on my Facebook wall. And about another 10 people have hit me up either on Twitter or Facebook Messenger. Saying, oh, watch out for those gas station nachos.
And that does make you feel ashamed? That people associate gas station nachos with you?
No. I'm ashamed for the woman that got sick. Toughen up, sister. Weak millennials can't handle gas station nachos. It's unbelievable. Botulism. People my age just rub a little dirt on it and move on with their day. In the hospital. Because of some Speedway nachos. What's wrong with this younger generation, Tracy?
They've been over-vaccinated.
Right?
And they use hand sanitizer too much. Yeah.
You eat food from gas stations. I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about?
At Wawa. You could buy gas at a Wawa.
Oh, okay. So that means it's a gas station.
Yeah.
Some of them don't have gas stations. They didn't start having gas stations until maybe 10 years ago.
Did you just say, oh, I guess that's a gas? They sell gas.
Not at every location.
Oh, so you won't go to a Wawa and buy food if it sells gas?
No. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it didn't start out as a gas station. It has way higher standards than what I'm picturing you're going into. Like the ones where you have to ask for the key to the bathroom and it comes on like some giant brick so you won't steal it, and you're wondering who the hell would steal a gas station bathroom key? Where am I? What circle of hell have I stumbled into here?
So you think I'm living in a Smokey and the Bandit movie? What is this?
Yes.
1970. Nobody has a key to the bathroom anymore.
What are you talking about? I just traveled down south and I had to get bathroom keys.
What?
On the way, yes, at disgusting gas station stops that had food there, and I thought I would never in a million years eat anything that's cooked fresh here. Because it basically means a microwave and then put it under a heat lamp. Gross. Wawa has fresh everything every day. They make their bread on the premises. They have their own dairy, so all the cheese is theirs. It's delicious. And I eat there occasionally. I think I've had 2 hoagies from there in this entire calendar year.
I don't know. You've taken me to Wawa a couple of times and you got food.
I took you once. And you were like, no, they don't have nachos.
This morning you got the nachos.
Nope. I don't think I got anything. I think I just took you there to show you how wonderful it is, and that one definitely didn't have a gas station.
So yeah, I want to thank all the people who sent me this piece about a woman almost dying eating at a gas station. As if that's going to stop.
Still hasn't scared you straight, yeah.
No. You kidding
People
me?
People care about your well-being more than you do, apparently.
And that's nice, and I appreciate it. But ain't no gas station nachos going to keep this man down.
All right, let's move along.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I only told you this was boring me 5 minutes ago, and we're still talking about gas station food. Like, there are current events happening, Fingers.
I would think that my dietary choices would be a pleasant diversion for people instead of having to hear about Trump.
You can do your own segment on those. If you want to tune in and listen to what Fingers eats, we'll launch a new segment next week.
The Snark Factor days, we used to do a segment called What Did Fingers Have for Breakfast?
I know.
But no, Donald Trump is in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
And they offered him fine silk, spices, his choice of any women in the group. It's been a fantastic trip so far from what I've been able to tell.
Yeah. They gave him a big old gold necklace that Flavor Flav would be jealous of.
He doesn't wear jewelry, though, apparently.
Well, he's wearing this. He looks pretty pimp with it on, actually.
Did it have a clock on it?
No, it's just got some big medallion-looking dealy.
Mm.
And I can't tell. There's not close-ups. I don't know if it's diamonds and gold or if it's just gold, but we know he loves gold.
Well, I saw somebody on Facebook complain that he apparently doesn't wear a wedding ring. They just noticed this? Believe it or not, I don't pay attention to that sort of thing. I don't really care if he wears a wedding ring or not. Everybody knows he's married.
Right.
But that was a problem for this person.
Oh, okay. There are lots of people that don't wear them.
Right. I don't wear one.
Right.
My problem is I'm Oprah. I'm fat, I'm thin, I'm fat, I'm thin.
Well, and you also would have to take it off at work anyway.
Yeah. But everybody knows he's married. And as if that matters. He's a billionaire. Right. I mean, if he wants to screw around on his wife,
he's going to pay the price for that.
Probably. But it's not like there aren't women out there that are going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't care if you're married or not. There are going to be plenty of women that are like, I don't care if you're married or not. You're Donald Trump.
Right. Well, looking through the photographs of this trip, I'm noticing that Jared Kushner also does not wear a wedding ring.
Really?
Yep. Maybe he left it at home because he was afraid those Saudis were going to steal it. Who knows? But I'm just stoked that neither Melania nor Ivanka covered up their heads.
Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, they wore more modest clothing than they normally do, like long sleeves. And Melania was wearing some sort of a jumper or romper or whatever the hell you call pants thing. I don't know what the hell to call it. It's all one piece. It looks like pants and long sleeves, and Ivanka wore a long dress and long sleeves. Is it
like that jumper outfit that they're trying to sell men now that are...
Yeah, no, those are shorts. It doesn't look like that.
Oh.
No, this is one of those outfits that I would never wear because it would take 5 minutes to get it off to go to the bathroom. And then I don't know what you do with all of that extra clothing. That's why I hate the rompers.
I don't know what a romper is. Is that like the war on Hee Haw, the men, the overalls?
No, it's a one-piece thing. So it's either pants and long sleeves, and you just kind of step into the whole getup. It's like an astronaut suit. You know what those look like? Or like the suits they wear in NASCAR. Does any of this make sense to you?
Yes.
It's certain pants that are connected.
Believe it or not, I don't own too many of those.
I figured as much. You don't have feety pajamas? Imagine that, just cut off the feet.
Ugh.
Yeah.
What a pain in the ass to go to the bathroom.
Right.
So they were both wearing an outfit like this?
No, Ivanka was wearing a dress.
I never realized how hot Ivanka was until this whole presidential campaign. Holy crap. Whenever they do a piece on her, they've got a picture from her walking in some kind of white dress, and it's tight top, and you're like, oh my dear God, she's hot. Good for her. And good for her husband. Who's not wearing a wedding ring.
Nope. And I don't know if you saw this or not, Fingers, but he's now, quote unquote, a person of interest in the Russia investigation.
Of course he is. Unbelievable. He'll get more jail time than Anthony Weiner.
Probably.
Okay, so how long are they in Saudi Arabia? Are they still there?
Just 2 days.
2 days. And then they're heading to Israel, right?
Correct.
And then
they're in Riyadh on the 20th and the 21st, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and Bethlehem from the 22nd to the 23rd, then Rome. Then they go to Brussels, and then they go to Sicily.
And each stop along the way, he's looking for real estate for a Trump Tower and a golf course, right?
Correct. That's the entire purpose of this trip.
Meanwhile, back in the States, I walked by the television last night. It was on CNN.
Why? Do you live at an airport?
Yes, I do. And it was the Don Lemon impeachment hour.
Oh.
And they had a panel yelling and screaming at each other. And they were talking about, apparently, there are people in the White House, what is it, Googling impeachment?
Mm-hmm.
Or researching impeachment or something. I don't know. Getting on Ask Jeeves.
No, it was the report is that people in the White House counsel's office have been researching the impeachment process. This broke on the Hill last night, I believe. That was the first place I saw it. And so the story goes, President Trump White House counsel has reportedly started looking to experts for information on impeachment proceedings to prepare for the possibility of Trump being forced out of office. Here's the money quote. Sources from the White House told CNN Friday that while they believe Trump being impeached is unlikely, and they wrote being unpeached, by the way, and this hasn't been corrected, they have started researching the proceedings amid more calls for Democratic lawmakers to impeach the president. So this is because Maxine Waters keeps going on television and yelling impeach.
I think it's more likely that Trump is unpeached, to be honest with you.
How do you leave something like that go for more than 24 hours on one of the biggest news sites that covers everything Washington?
Because you're ready to write the next impeachment post. You can't look back. There's no looking back. It's the reason why the Rush Limbaugh calls them the drive-by media.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered with correcting even grammar or any kind of misspelling in the piece. You just move on.
It's terrible. But yeah, okay, great. They're researching impeachment. Maybe. Who cares? And then the next sentence just totally undermines that. Oh, they don't really think it's going to happen, but they started researching it anyway because they have nothing better to do. Good Lord. This is all just to make it look chaotic.
Yes.
And it seems to be working.
Well, again, it's going to be interesting to see how... Well, it's not going to be easy to find out how this is really affecting him because you don't know how they're going to be polling his favorable, unfavorable numbers. But, you know, we interviewed Kurt Schlichter earlier, and we're going to put that in this podcast. He brings up a point. I didn't see this poll anywhere, but they polled people who voted for Trump, and 98% said that they do not regret their vote.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's true, how much mileage is this really getting? This story. It looks like a witch hunt, like the president said. And at some point, and it happened to Republicans when it came to the impeachment of Bill Clinton, there's going to be a price paid on the Democratic side of all this is nothing but day after day, week after week of them trying to throw something against the wall and hope it sticks. You would think.
You would think, but the Trump guys really need to stop responding to this stuff.
That's true.
And just say, look, we've appointed Mueller now. Oh, they didn't, they second in command over at DOJ because Sessions has recused himself. Did this whole Mueller thing. So just say, fine. There's a special counsel now that's been put in charge of this investigation. Let's shut up until he reports back. And that should be how the White House deals with this going forward. Let them look like crazy people and be like, we're getting back to the work that we promised we'd do.
And that's what Bill Clinton did during the whole... I'm focusing on the work that needs to be done for the American people. Some other kind of bullshit. That's what they need to do. You're right. And I have never been one to say that he needs to stop tweeting, but he needs to stop tweeting about this and just move on.
Mm-hmm.
I fear that's not in his makeup. He has to respond. He can't help himself.
Well, he could come out and do one press briefing himself and shut it all down and be like, this is my final word on this.
But it won't be his final word on it. That's his problem.
Probably not. Yeah. It's like you with not being able to stick to a diet.
Can we not bring up my diet, Tracy? We're boring people.
Sure. Deal. Never again.
I may try this
angered the
Plexus,
gods'
though.
fingers. I hear the thunder in the background.
Yeah, we are getting some wicked weather through Indianapolis right now.
Nice. What are you trying now? Plexus?
Yeah, Plexus.
What is that?
It's some sort of drink that you buy.
Okay.
That is supposed to somehow stabilize your blood sugar in a way that cuts down on cravings.
Okay.
I don't know. Sounds like something else. A good way to waste money on something. That won't help me get any thinner.
Right. No, Atkins works for you. You should just do it and stick to it.
I could lose 30 pounds in a month on Atkins.
Yep.
I'll lose, 18 in a week. But then I'll pass by a vending machine that's filled with Mrs. Freshley's cinnamon rolls. and it'll be like a crack addict looking at a 5-pound crack rock. Gotta have it. And then I fall off the wagon. Because at that point, I can't just have one. What I'll do is I'll eat that, and I'm like, oh, shit, I blew it. I'm going to eat a whole bag of Doritos on top of it. And then it's Carb City for like a week, and then I lose 18 pounds, and then I gain 15 of them back. And then I'm Oprah.
Mm-hmm. Without all the money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a pisser.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder.
Sorry.
All right, so Trump is overseas. Democrats are still batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Maxine Waters is nuts.
Yes.
The Russians came up with lock her up.
That's my favorite.
She was on MSNBC, and someone actually said, do you have any proof that there was collusion between Trump and the Russians? Well, no. Okay. Why are we still talking about this? Nobody has any proof. We've been talking about this for a year. Tracy, why are we still talking about this?
Because the Democrats are still talking about it and the media is still talking about it. They're hanging their hats on this one. They think it's their best chance of impeachment.
I mean, do you honestly think that Democrats believe that this is true?
I think some of them do, yes.
Do you think that they think that Hillary lost because of collusion between Trump and the Russians?
I think she does.
Okay, but do you think Democrats do? Do they think that?
Some of them that are in complete and utter denial, yeah.
I mean, I did see a headline, and I didn't read the story because who reads stories anymore when you can just read the headline? Biden kind of trashed her this week.
Oh?
Said he didn't think she was a good candidate. I'm paraphrasing.
I thought he came out and said that a couple weeks ago. Is
No,
he doing it again?
I just saw the story today.
Well, it's helpful when you see stuff and you don't read it and then you talk about it.
I just read the headline.
Right.
This is the Washington Post one day ago. Biden disses Clinton. I never thought she was a great candidate. I thought I was a great candidate.
See? This is why you should read beyond headlines.
Former Vice President Joe Biden stirred the Democratic pot a bit on Thursday night. Appearing at the Salt Hedge Fund conference in Las Vegas.
Of course.
Man of the people. The possible 2020 presidential candidate weighed in on Hillary Clinton's 2016 candidacy in a way that Clinton supporters sure won't like. Quote, I never thought she was a great candidate, Biden said. According to reports, I thought I was a great candidate. Biden clarified, according to CNN, that Hillary would have been a really good president, but that isn't likely to make Clinton supporters feel much better.
No.
Apparently Bernie Sanders is out there saying it wasn't that Donald Trump won the election, it was the Democratic Party that lost the election. That's more accurate.
Can be true.
What's that?
Both of those things are true.
Yes.
Donald Trump won, and the Democrats lost. And they did kind of hand it to him on a silver platter.
Do you think Bernie Sanders would have beat Donald Trump?
No. I think he would have gotten blown out.
I would have loved to have seen that.
Oh, absolutely. It would have been way more entertaining. Well, maybe not. I don't know. There's so much intrigue around the Clintons.
But can you imagine if Hillary lost to Barack Obama in 2008 and then lost to a 98-year-old socialist in 2016. Oh! Would have been fantastic.
Yes. But from the very, very, very beginning, I had said that they were never going to let Bernie win that damn nomination.
No.
I don't even know why, to this day, they allowed him to run on the Democrat Party ticket.
Especially when you, at the end of the day, know you're going to screw him out of the nomination.
Well, they wanted to have they wanted to make it look like they weren't just giving it to her.
Well, between that and I think maybe they were scared that he would run third party, which would have really screwed her over.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that they look at him as just as big of a joke as we do. So I think they underestimated how much he was going to get, how far he was going to get, and how popular he was going to be.
How old is Joe Biden?
He's in his 70s.
The idea that he would run in 2020.
Well, this is how hopeless they are, and how they have no bench. And it's a total shit show over there. And that's what should be talked about coming out of the Trump White House. Just be like, the Democrats are in complete disarray. And, take a page out of their playbook and just lie and say the Republicans are all on board with the Trump agenda. We're moving forward. We're going to start that damn wall. Tax reform is up next. The Senate's going to kick out a decent Obamacare repeal bill. Let the Democrats just destroy themselves while we do this.
Why aren't we paid consultants, Tracy?
I do not know, Fingers.
Joe Biden will be 75 this year.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize he was that old. He's older than Bernie?
Yeah, Bernie. Well, how old is Bernie? Bernie's
He's 71 or 72.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
I believe.
The idea that he would run at the age of, what we're looking at. You really have to start running in right after the next Congress gets sworn in, right? January 2018. That's when you start seeing people in Iowa.
2019.
Or 2019, excuse me. That's when you start seeing people in Iowa.
Yeah. He'll be 77.
Jesus.
78. It's not going to happen.
Somebody needs to sit down and have a talk with Uncle Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Should have ran. Joe Biden could have beaten Donald Trump.
Potentially. It's hard to say because you don't know what kind of stupid shit would have come out of his mouth.
That's true.
He imploded before. What was it, 88, that he had to drop out?
Yes.
For stealing somebody else's life story.
Right.
I thought I could get away with it if not for you meddling kids.
But he's much more likable than Hillary Clinton.
Of course.
And Bernie Sanders, for that matter.
I find Bernie kind of intriguing.
Who would you rather have a beer with, Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders?
Bernie.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
first of all, Biden doesn't drink. And second of all, he's super handsy.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Okay, I get it. Because he would be, groping you and stuff. But
yeah. But although, they could make money off of that, so... sexual harassment suits are all the rage these days.
Well, if you're a Republican...
Yes.
Roger Ailes, of course, passed away this week. I didn't even know anything about the bump on the head. Was that
it
news?
hadn't been widely reported, no.
No.
As far as I can tell.
Well, do we have anything else to talk about, Tracy? Or should we bring in Kurt Schlichter?
There was one more thing that caught my attention. Mm-hmm. There was a Gateway Pundit story that came out last night. It was Friday. They got a hold of Media Matters and Soros's 2017 through 2020 media assault plan.
Mm-hmm.
And part of this had been leaked before. So I just want to clarify this for people that are following this on Twitter, because I went through this thing last night and found a couple tidbits. The Free Beacon had a version of this same document, it looks like, that's a little bit varied. That one just covered what Media Matters had planned. This one covers all of Brock's little organizations. So that's Media Matters, American Bridge, Crew, and Share Blue. And it's a long, like, what we're going to do, how much money we have, and you would be shocked at the kind of toys they've got going on.
Oh.
They have a video collection that is searchable by soundbite, basically, so by keyword. So they've got tech that can listen to video and then transcribe it to make it searchable.
Wow.
Which is that's wild. Like, these guys must have invested a fortune in all of this stuff. So they're boasting that they've got the largest archive of Trump video clips and, you know, everybody that's going to be running for Congress and Senate and governor. They've got all of this, and they're going to share it with their partners in the progressive movement so they can take everybody out. But one piece that stood out to me was their discussion about their work with Facebook and Twitter. So they say Media Matters has already secured access to raw data from Facebook, Twitter, and other social media sites. So when I read that, that doesn't say to me that they paid to have those things. That to me reads that Facebook, Twitter, and whoever else is encompassed by other social media sites just turned over their raw or gave them access to it. And what they want to be able to do with this is, they say, the earlier we identify a fake news story, the more effectively we can quash it. With this new technology that they'll have at their fingertips, researchers monitoring news in real time will be able to identify the origins of a lie with mathematical precision, creating an early warning system for fake news and disinformation.
Well, I'm sure that if you are correct, that Twitter and Facebook shared this raw data with... That's
what they're saying.
I mean, without them having to pay for it. I'm sure they would do the same thing for Newsbusters, the Media Research Center, right?
Sure. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. So then on the same page of this is the pamphlet that they're giving out to people to raise money, I assume. They say, under the subheading, collaborating with social media platforms. Outlets that push fake news are completely dependent on Facebook to spread their lies and ad networks like Google to fund them. So Media Matters has unique insight to help fix problems in this part of the media landscape. After Facebook responded to our campaign by acknowledging the problem of fake news and agreeing to do something about it, we began a dialogue. It became clear from these conversations that Facebook needed our help in fully understanding the problem and identifying concrete solutions.
Well, that's fucking scary.
Right? Yeah. Further, it also became clear that we had information and insight they didn't have that was helpful in educating them on the full scope of the problem. For example, Media Matters had a detailed map of the constellation of right-wing Facebook pages that had been the biggest purveyors of fake news, as well as insight into the food chain of fake news and how it was moving through the Facebook ecosystem. Similarly, after Google revised their terms of service in order to prohibit so-called fake news sites from using their advertising network, it was Media Matters that had the information necessary to identify 40 of the worst fake news sites to which this policy applied.
Do they name the sites?
No.
Yeah, that should be chilling to anyone on the right. Particularly if you're a content provider.
Yeah. Well, it should be it's scary to anybody on the right because they're going to have all these people that are dedicated to just social media fuckery, basically.
Yes.
They're going to hire a bunch of people to sit around and tweet and attack and all these kind of things. And who knows? It sounds like Facebook and Twitter are on board with them in their lunacy. So if they're tracing back stories to whoever it was that put it out, don't tell me they're not going to then do massive reports, spam report or spam block attacks and try to get people thrown off of these platforms. Because they must crush all opposition news. Because it's fake, don't you know?
And then what do we do?
Build our own stuff, I guess.
And that just further separates people into their bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have right-wing Facebook and right-wing Twitter.
Yep.
And there'll be left-wing Facebook, Facebook and Twitter.
Right. Well, they do talk later in this. The brochure goes through and it's like, this is what Media Matters is going to do. This is what American Bridge is going to do. This is what Crew is going to do. So if you don't know, American Bridge is their super PAC or PAC. Crew is their version of Judicial Watch. So they're going to sue the Trump administration every day. And they do say, our goals are either impeachment or he's out of office in 2020. And then finally, Share Blue is a for-profit news site that they want to make the Breitbart of the left, but it's mostly housed on Facebook.
They already have the Breitbart of the left.
I know, it's everywhere. It's called Huffington Post. It's called Salon. It's called Slate. It's called The Nation. It's called The Atlantic. It's called CNN, MSNBC. But so they say for this Share Blue business that one of the things they're going to offer in order to start monetizing this whole thing, because it's a huge Facebook page, basically, they have very little other footprint outside of that, is they're going to offer to paid subscribers their own private Twitter kind of environment. So they won't have to deal with conservative voices at all.
Wow.
Yep. These guys are busy and they've got a lot of money.
Well, I know I've seen it must have been a couple of weeks ago, there were banners when I would get on Facebook saying, help us identify fake news.
Yeah. Media Matters put a ton of pressure on them. And they've got a whole army of people and they're training more. They want to train all grassroots activists to be able to put them on a moment's notice, get a whole tweet wave if they need to, or Facebook commenting or whatever. And they say in this brochure, which I think is hilarious, that progressives don't really push back enough on Facebook and other platforms when they see fake news. And I don't know about your experience, but if I ever post anything and make it available to everybody on Facebook that's my friend, as opposed to putting it off in the little silo that I have created for people that I know can handle news, I definitely get comments from my friends on the left. Yeah, they don't let stuff go. And that's not to say that I let stuff go that they post either. I don't. But this idea that they're silenced and they're scared and they're intimidated and they won't comment on fake news or what David Brock considers fake news is absurd.
Well, let's start up our own Twitter, Tracy.
Well, there is one. It's called Gab.
Yeah. I signed up for Gab and I never got a response from them, like the whole pre-registration.
That's probably in your spam.
Yeah, probably. Okay, well, you ready to bring on Kurt?
Yeah.
Well, we'll do that. Remember, you can check out both podcasts, the Clean podcast for Wham 1600 AM Ann Arbor, and now the edgier Dirty podcast on EnoughAlready.us. And, of course, where can everyone find the podcast if they don't go to EnoughAlready.us, Tracy?
You can find us on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, and Facebook.
And if you could do us a solid, when you check us out on iTunes, how about leaving us a review? 5 stars, please.
That would be nice.
All right.
It only takes a minute.
Right. All right, Kurt Schlichter's up next, and that will end our show this week. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new Enough Already.
The best place for news, fake news, commentary, and fake commentary is EnoughAlready.us.
And welcome back. Remember, all things Enough Already Radio can be found at enoughlalready.us. We write there from time to time. We have the daily podcast called the Enough Already Daily Briefly. So check it out, enoughlalready.us. And joining us right now on the Enough Already hotline is our good friend Kurt Schlichter from Townhall.com. Hi, Kurt.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Can you explain to me something? I don't understand how Donald Trump is a fascist if he is asking people nicely to drop an investigation. If you could even call it dropping an investigation, saying, I hope you're not going to pursue this. Worst fascist ever.
Yeah, everything is stupid. And I'm merely a lawyer. What do I know about this whole law thing? Well, evidently more than every single Democrat. Look, the entire thing is stupid. It's a lie. It's a scam. It's a fraud. And since you've warned me, we are not, on our old school podcast where I could say in the words that are most appropriate exactly what I think of this. I have to say it's a bunch of poppycock.
So you're not buying that this is obstruction of justice? That's what you're saying.
Well, this whole scam has nothing to do with justice in the first place. And it not only is not obstruction, it did not obstruct and did not attempt to obstruct. And Comey agreed, because when Comey was asked if anyone tried to interfere with your investigation, he answered no under oath. And nor did he report any attempted obstruction. So Comey doesn't think it's an obstruction. Trump doesn't think it's obstruction. It's not obstruction, and it didn't obstruct. This makes it very difficult, in my view, to construe this as anything like obstruction of justice. But, really what the whole thing is, it's a giant coup attempt by the left to take back power from the normal Americans who reasserted it last November. And that's what it is. And that's all it is.
And you have a great piece explaining that in detail over at Town Hall called "This is a Coup Against Our Right to Govern Ourselves."
What a coincidence.
Imagine that. And you've also been having a
promotion.
Right. But you've been having a great time just pointing and laughing at the lunacy of the left, which was your piece from earlier this week, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Well, look, I don't think they're helping themselves. When they're running around, you have a bunch of leftists who were, cavorting with the commies during the Cold War, about the nuclear freeze and, Ronnie Reagan, that idiocy. While I was over there shivering in Germany, waiting for the commie hordes to come across the border, these guys are walking around with peace signs, sucking up to the local KGB resident. And now there's nothing they hate more than Russians. Welcome to the party, pal. It's just stupid. And, everything's treason. Everything's the worst thing that ever happened. And normal people are saying, no. I'm not a big guy on polls, but I thought one was striking. 98% of people who voted for Trump don't regret it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wow. 98%. This is not only getting no traction, that doesn't count the people who voted against Trump who are now going, I don't think it's so bad. Bomb the damn Syrians. That's not so bad. I can't believe it's getting any real traction. I mean, you hear rumors here and there, we're going to lose in 2018. And I'm thinking, I don't know. Who do you? Maybe you guys do. Do you know anyone personally who kind of sucked it up, which I did, and voted for Trump, and now goes, gosh, I really wish we had Hillary. This whole Gorsuch, Mattis, and McMaster's thing has totally bummed me out. As a conservative, I'm totally depressed.
I think the path
who's that guy?
I think the path to them losing in 2018 has more to do with Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell than Donald Trump. I mean, you got a guy that
I do.
The guy said, "I'm going to drain the swamp," and one of the first things he does is fires the FBI director that everybody hated. Trump supporters aren't going to go, "Oh, I really wish he wouldn't have done that."
Yeah, he can't. I love the Colbert video where he comes out and goes, "They fired Comey," and the crowd like goes nuts, and he has to like correct them. No. Today that's a bad thing. I'm just trying to figure out who's the guy who's going, gosh, the Democrats are making such a fuss over it. I guess I should just give in to them. And just because that's their plan. Make so much noise, cause so much trouble, make it so painful that people just kind of surrender and say, let's just give it to the Democrats because we know the Republicans are too much of wusses to do anything about it. Turn everything up to 11. I'm just not seeing it. But I think, Paul Ryan, that smarmy jerk, has a nearly limitless capacity for foolishness, I think, and weakness. I think Mitch McConnell's much more cunning and much more tough. I mean, I'm still surprised he held out on the Merrick Garland thing.
Right.
But they have got to get, Ryan and McConnell have got to tell these people, no, you're not taking another freaking 20-day vacation. We're coming in and we're going to start passing stuff. And they've got to start doing that. And, the more I was glad they finally got something passed to repeal Obamacare. When everyone said they didn't or couldn't. And I think that they will surprise the left with a tax reform thing and some other stuff. I think it's going to happen, but they need to make sure it does. They cannot allow themselves, to be driven off target. And, Paul Ryan's communications shop is notoriously incompetent. I mean, his idea is, well, I'm just going to sit here and, smirk and do all this stuff. I'm not going to tell anybody about it or tell them our plans. I just expect them to trust me, which is, exactly the wrong thing to tell conservatives. We are, the abused girlfriends, and when the Republicans come home, with lipstick on their collar, smelling like cheap prostitutes, and then saying, I was at church choir practice, we get suspicious.
Oh, I think a lot of House and Senate Democrats are loving what's going on right now. It takes the focus away from them not doing anything for the most part.
Exactly. And we have, it's 18 months, but stuff has got to start happening. I think Trump's made some mistakes too. I think he has failed to appoint people as fast as he should. I think he has failed to appoint people who are loyal to him, and instead letting, these never Trump weirdos, come in. I think he should be moving faster on that. I think he should just shut up about the whole Russian thing and focus on achievements, for a while. I understand the strategy, but, the fact is that the Democrat exhaustion strategy could work. He doesn't need to contribute to it. His way to come at them is with concrete achievements.
And just kind of ignore and continue on, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because first of all, let's understand, the entire Russian thing is a complete lie. There is less than nothing. There is a lie from A to Z. There is zero there. It is absolutely and completely a lie. And I can tell you why. I know that for a absolute certainty, because this baloney has been going on for 12 months, and we have had exactly zero leak of anything that actually shows any of this stuff is true. We've had a leak of every single other thing that's ever happened. Every other thing.
Yeah,
I mean, does anyone think for a second, if somebody had a tape like, Trump, if Lois Mensch really had a tape of, Trump doing the Macarena with Putin, that we wouldn't have seen it? It wouldn't have slipped out to the Washington Post somehow? I mean, do you have any doubt in your mind? I mean, and then you get, tight-lipped Feinstein and even that moron Maxine Waters. No, we see no evidence. But there could be. There is none, because it's a lie and a scam.
Right. Well, do you think the appointment of Mueller now as the special counsel to investigate this stuff will calm them at all?
Well, no, because it's not a matter of calming them down because they're not excited. It is all a lie and a scam. So they will find something else to complain about.
Sure.
So there is nothing you can do to make things better. There's nothing, because they are not arguing in good faith. This is all a cynical strategy to delegitimize the votes of half the American people. This is not a fight about Trump. And it's important to understand that. This is not a battle about Donald Trump. This is a battle about whether people like us will have a voice in governing ourselves. And liberals think that is illegitimate. They think we are bad people. That deplorable comment was not an accident. It was not a mistake. It is exactly what they think. They think that we are morally and intellectually unable and unfit to govern ourselves, and that they have a moral right to rule over us. And everything they do is consistent with that. So the idea that somehow we're going to argue them out of it using facts and evidence and prove anything is ridiculous, because it's not a court. Okay, it's a street corner. It's all lies, and I'm not sure how well it's going to work for them. But that's the strategy they have. It's not about any kind of truth process. There's no Democrat who's ever going to go, well, I guess Donald Trump really wasn't corrupt. That will never happen, no matter what Mueller says.
And what do you make of Vladimir Putin coming out and offering a transcript from the meeting between?
Well, the thing about Putin is he's got to be loving this, because he is our enemy, and or at least an opponent, and and once again the Democrats are kind of doing the Russians work for them, as they traditionally have, because there's no enemy the United States has like a Democrat. By helping their chaos assists Putin, but that's a sacrifice they're willing to make. They're willing to sacrifice the stock market, the job market, American success overseas, our foreign policy, our security. That is all a secondary consideration. None of it matters to them. All that matters is their own power. That's literally it.
Kurt Schlichter is joining us on Enough Already. Finally, Kurt, you got a new book coming out soon. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
I do. You had my last one, People's Republic. That was a novel. It was very exciting. You read it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Many times. This is a prequel, and it involves guerrilla war in Indiana after the country splits in two because of what the liberals do. So I want to see what happens down the road if this idiocy continues. It's my worst case scenario. It's a warning. Don't do this with your country. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be out in June 1st on Amazon. But you can get People's Republic right now, which is also terrific, according to everyone. Hey, I'm getting all Trumpy. It's the greatest book ever.
Will you be sending a digital copy to every member? Kurt, will every member of Congress be receiving a complimentary digital copy of your new book?
You're assuming they can read. Get the intern to read it. Give me the gist. Liberalism bad. Thank you. That's the message for today.
You can follow Kurt on Twitter at Kurt Schlichter, and of course you can read him at Townhall. Thanks for joining us, Kurt.
Thanks for having me.
Enough already. Enough already. Bonus content.
Hey, and we're back with bonus content, and we held Kurt Schlichter over because, going back to the Snark Factor days, Kurt, you used to enjoy coming on the show because you could swear.
Yeah, fuck these motherfuckers. I'm so sick of these people. I'm so sick of them. Starting with Evan McMullen, who I liked a lot better when he was Moby. Going on to pink panty wearing David Frum, that fussy little femboy.
Uh-huh.
This is a coup against America. Yeah. Oh my God. Here's the meme du jour from the Never Trump guys. And I'm not talking the Trump Some of us are Trump curious. Some of us are Trump skeptical. A guy like Ben Shapiro will actually praise him when he's good and attack him when he's bad. I can deal with that. That's not the guys I'm talking about. I'm talking the guy whose rice bowl's been turned over, like Bill Kristol, who went all in on Jebby guys and found out that the rest were actually serious about this conservative stuff, and it just wasn't a scam to, get him power and position and invites to Georgetown cocktail parties, which used to be a cliche, but I think is like a real thing with him.
Yeah.
So now he spends all his time attacking the guy who isn't Hillary.
Yeah.
And that's what Trump has done best. People go, what do you like best about Trump? He's done a fantastic job of not being Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just so sick of these guys, these backstabbing little wusses who don't understand that we're in a freaking knife fight. Okay? The other side wants to win. You want to sit around at your little freaking prissy table and just, I don't think that Donald Trump has perused the works of Hayek to a sufficient extent. You freaking have sex with a live human. Then get back to me, you freaking drones. You bow tie wearing goofs. I mean, and we really, here's the thing. We had a fight in conservatism, and these guys didn't show up for it. All right? For a long time, we weren't thinking, as conservatives, we were not thinking about all of us. We were thinking, look, I love free trade. Free trade is a great thing, but there's a cost to human beings. People we're asking to vote for us. And when you have a 58-year-old guy and he's making $60,000 a year and his factory job goes to Juarez, what's our answer to him? Mm-hmm. And it can't be, as Milton Friedman teaches, you're now obsolete. I suggest you go learn about computers somehow. Maybe you can get a medical billing data entry job for $7.50 an hour.
Well, that's what really pisses me off.
That's not an answer.
That's what really pisses me off, Kurt, because 30 years ago, at least they would try to give an answer, something like, well, we need to make the United States more business friendly. We need to reduce regulation. We need to reduce the tax burden. And now it's just let them eat cake. Screw them. Bye.
Well, the thing is in the party, though, we had the discussion, and Trump came along, and I'm not sure all his solutions are correct, but he talked to these guys. And I know for a fact that when he's alone in meetings, because I'm so powerfully connected, he'll look at CEOs and say, I shook the hands of the guys in your factories. You're not going to screw them over. And there's something good about having a guy, even if that's not pre-market gospel that we all grew up on. It's nice to have a guy who's taking our side in a fight. Who thinks about the roofer in Fontana who can't get a job because he was born here, and everybody on the work crews, he just wants to be a roofer. Everyone on the cruise is an illegal alien.
Yep.
And what do you get? And then his truck gets hit by some illegal who doesn't have insurance, so he's out $2,000. While this, the cop says, I can't do anything about it. What do we tell that guy, that roofer in Fontana? What was our answer to him? Shut up, you're racist?
Yes.
No wonder it doesn't. It doesn't work. That's not an answer.
You look at a state like Michigan, it's why it flipped. Just of what you're saying right there. Yeah. I mean, I know too many people that have had their factories close, and our response is a shoulder shrug.
Yeah, and now that is the Democrat response. They've doubled down on it. They used to be out there. At least they would go out there and say, hey, guys, guys in the union hall, we're on your side. Maybe they weren't totally, but, now they're like, you're a bunch of dirty-fingered racists.
Yep. Well, and they're also polluting.
The Republican Party has got to talk to the people who built this country, who bled for this country, who defend this country, who are the backbone of this country. And the backbone of this country is not a bunch of freaking goofy-haired hipsters with skinny jeans blabbering about vinyl and brewing cucumber-infused IPAs. Those are not the heart and soul of America. The heart and soul of America has been completely ignored, except by Donald Trump. This guy has plenty of flaws, but he saw clearly that somebody needed to stand up and be the voice of the normals. And if I have to choose sides, maybe I'm a blue state trial lawyer who drives a brand new BMW, which is freaking fantastic. But at the end of the day, I'd rather side with the normals.
Now, the backbone of this country is Bill Kristol. You need to get in tune with that idea.
The backbone of Bill Kristol.
What were you going to say, Tracy?
If that guy was any Femi, or I'd call him Chelsea. Oh, my gosh. Oh, by the way, I like how Chelsea Manning's released. She's a hero because she gave stuff to WikiLeaks. That's my favorite thing of the day.
It's also confusing.
And it's not Chelsea. It's Bradley. You are a fucking traitor. Look, I will politely not confront you over your delusions if you are troubled with this, this terrible gender dysphoria thing. And if it makes your life feel a little better, I'll call you by your new name if you're my friend. But if you're a freaking traitor, I feel no reason to be polite and cater to your delusion.
I kind of have a theory that the gender dysphoria stuff was all a ploy to get released.
Well, look, I mean, I just say, I mean, it's that this a horrible, horrible person was, released when there are plenty of people who have ambiguous cases of actual actions in combat who should have got the benefit of the doubt. Instead, we get penis snipper. Is the guy Obama looks at. So I'm just kind of appalled by that. Hence
my theory. It was all about getting out. You go to the top of the victim totem pole.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't see Bradley being picky about its love partners in the future, but I'm unconvinced it's going to finish mutilating itself and chemically altering itself to fit a delusion.
Well, we'll leave it at that. Kurt.
And there we are.
Again, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
And that will end our show this week. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new Enough Already.